My life sucks. Maybe this crap isn't worth it anymore. Ha! You would have thought! Oh! That's right, this is CEO Conquest, and we're back with another video full of energy, full of life, ready to give you something you've never had before because you only get one chance at life. And whatever you do with that one chance determines the legacy you leave on this earth. So what's the topic for today? Today we are going to be talking about something a lot of us struggle with, and that's the day that'll change your life. A long time ago in the Middle East, this thief was caught stealing a precious gem from a noble courtesan that lived in the court of the king. Now, mind you, back then that was a very serious crime, punishable by death. But this king was known worldwide for his mercy, compassion, and kindness, and because he didn't really have a big heart for materialist things. However, once this thief was caught, he was rather illiterate. He was told that the king was going to do all types of cruel, horrible, disastrous things to him. The guy, obviously, like anybody would in that situation, freaked out. He was terrified. He had no idea what the king was going to do to him. And he immediately thought the worst. Either he's going to feed me to the lions, he's going to throw me in a den of wolves, or he's going to cut me apart. Or maybe he's going to tie me up in 4 horses and have me drawn and quartered. This guy was freaking out tremendously. Next thing you know, the king orders this man brought into his chambers, mind you, his personal chambers, and he speaks with him, and he says, I'm going to give you a choice. Tomorrow at 10 in the morning, there will be 2 doors. Behind one door lies something unknown, a secret, something you do not know. However, it might turn out to be worse than the other door. And in the second door will lie the executioner's axe. At the end of the day, the door that you choose will be your choice. I'm placing your life in your hands, said the king. Or in other words, your fate. He didn't necessarily say his life, but I'm placing your fate in your hands. So this man had all night to think about, and he was just rolling in his bed, and he couldn't sleep, he couldn't close his eyes, he couldn't rest. All he thought about was that secret door. What lied behind that door? Next morning, the man was brought before the king, and the king stood up with all majesty and power and greatness, and he asked the man one simple question. What door do you choose? Man, hands a bit trembling, eyes a bit glancy, looking to all sides, looked at the king, all powerful and majestic, standing on his throne, and trembled. And as he looked at the king, he noticed that the king had a giant smirk painted all over his face, and the man realized, it's a trick. It's a trick. What lies behind that door is something much worse than death. It is torture, it is suffering, it is pain. It is probably 10 times worse than the executioner's axe. I'd rather take the short route. So the man, with a trembling voice, looks at the king and says, Your Majesty? The king answers, yes. I choose the second door, Your Majesty. But please let it be quick, Your Majesty. Please let it be quick. The king lowers his head and says, your will be done. He smiles and he sits down. So the man is taken outside. The executioner sharpens his axe, brings it up, and bah! One smack blows his head off. After the ceremony is all done, and the king is sitting down with his courtesans, and people are just talking and praising the king for his wisdom, they ask the king, Your Majesty, what lied behind that second door? The king, with a smirk and a smile, looks over at all those people gathered around, and he said, freedom. Freedom lied behind that door, and the man willingly chose his own demise. So why exactly is freedom worse than death? Remember how the king said, if you choose the first door, it might turn out to be worse than the second door. The reason is because as long as you have freedom, you can make all the decisions that you want, and you alone will be accountable for them. You alone. Living is a lot harder than dying. And we've all been through that. Those situations that they want to break us down, they want to break us apart, they want to destroy us completely. We've all been through that point in our lives where we just want to give up. Most of you know that I've been struggling through that. You know, after Mom passed away, it's been extremely difficult picking myself back up again. And I know what it's like to feel like you're constrained in a little box and you just can't get out of it no matter how hard you try. You're just locked up in there. And the longer you last inside that box, the more alone you feel, the more sad you feel, the more depressed you feel. It almost comes to a point where you want to give up. It does. You can't take it anymore. But I want to tell you today that there's hope. There's always hope. Whoever said that there was no hope was a complete idiot, because hope comes from within. So, 4 keys to the day that'll change your life. It goes as follows: disgust, decision, resolve, and desire. Disgust, decision, resolve, and desire. You need to be disgusted with the situation that you are currently in. A couple weeks ago, I was completely disgusted. I wasn't eating. I hated where I was. I was so depressed I couldn't even look at a computer screen without crying. I was completely crushed, and it was understandable because of what I was going through, but I hated that situation that I was in. I was disgusted at myself. I know in a sense it's bad because I wasn't allowing myself to grieve, and I understand that it was part of the grieving process, but then also I knew that Mom would hate to see me in that situation in which I was in, which is why I was disgusted with my current situation. Desire. You need to desire to change, because what good is being in a bad situation and not wanting to change if you don't want it? You know, it's common sense in this sense. You need to desire to change your situation, because if there is no desire, I promise you there will be no results. If you don't desire it, you're not going to have it. So you need to have some type of desire. Okay? That's the second step. Desire to change. Desire to be different. Desire to get out of that dark, sunken place that you've locked yourself up in. Next, you need to make the decision. Decide. Just decide. I know it sounds so difficult, but just decide that you want to change. Just decide. That's all it takes. You need to make the decision, the conscious decision in your mind. Okay, that's it. I want it. I hate where I'm at. I want it. I decide that I'm going to change today, because so many of us wait until the next day to do things, and there is no better time than today, because tomorrow is not guaranteed. The only thing that's guaranteed is the present. If you don't believe me, look to the past. How long have you been saying you're going to do something and haven't started? Stop waiting for the perfect situation. Just start. You don't lose absolutely anything by starting. As a matter of fact, you lose time by not starting. So just decide that you're going to start. Decide, make the decision to start, and start. And finally, resolve. Be 100% resolved in the decision that you've made. What is the definition of resolve? Resolve is to make a decision that no matter what happens, you are going to stick to it 100%. And if you want an example of resolve, I'll give you a perfect one. When you have to go to the bathroom, and you don't have to do number 1, you have to do number 2, and you really need to go to the bathroom, and there's just no way you're going to be able to hold it up in your body. But you're on a road trip, right? You're on a road trip. And there's just no bathrooms around. I promise you will be 100% resolved to hold it in until you go to a bathroom. I promise you. I promise you, because there's no way you are about to shit your pants. I can promise you that. You're going to hold it in until you get to a bathroom and go. You just made a conscious commitment to wait for the bathroom. In other words, you were 100% resolved to wait for the bathroom. So you guys know what resolve is. We've all been resolved at one point in our lives. All right, so just a quick recap so we don't forget the points that we talked about today. The very first one is that you need to be completely disgusted with the situation that you're in. Hate it, completely hate it. After you do that, you want to make sure that you have the desire to change, because what good is being in a bad situation if you don't want to change, if you just like roaming around in this dark sunken place, make sure you have the desire to change. Once you have the desire to change, you need to make the decision, 100% committed decision, that you are going to change. These two will fuel the third one. And finally, be resolved to stick to that choice that you made and never, ever, ever back down under any circumstances. Very well, guys, this has been it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. Share this video with your friends. If you have anybody who might be interested in the channel, please let them know. Tell them to come check it out. Let's get this movement started. I am super hyped up and excited. I can't wait to bring you more energy-filled videos and great content. Please never forget that you have one life, one chance at creating a wonderful, powerful, incredible legacy. Never give up, never surrender. Do what you gotta do to be successful. This has been a pleasure to make. CEO Conquest Roberto. Peace out.